Across the world, around 15% of the global population lives with some form of a disability. 15%. If you think about that, that's over 1 billion people living with some form of a disability. The impact of that is massive. I mean, people are getting discriminated against. There's a strong stigma against people with disabilities. And what that means is that, for example, people with a disability might not be invested in going to university. They have lower education levels. People believe that they cannot function or perform as well as people without a disability would actually be able to perform. As a result, people with a disability are some of the most at-risk population across the globe. In particular, women and girls are very, very exposed.
It's really important to include people living with disability for two reasons. Because it's right and because it's effective. It's right because it's a human right. This is about including everybody across the warp and weft of society, anywhere in the world, and certainly here in Kenya. Our strategy has three pillars to it: accessibility, participation, and empowerment. We're working to make our buildings, but also our digital presence more accessible to people living with disabilities. Participation, we want to recruit and attract more staff to our teams living with disability. And then finally, on empowerment, we work to promote the economic and societal empowerment of people living with disability in this great country of Kenya.
Personally, I got involved in this whole agenda after hearing a story about a girl, in this case it was in Malawi, who was impacted by polio and could not walk. She spent her 14 years of her life in a hut, lying on the ground, being visited occasionally but never taken out. During this period of time, she was sexually assaulted almost on a daily basis. Now that got me thinking, imagine what your life would be if you would be lying on the ground, not being able to get out. And even if you would get out, nobody would care, but you can't walk anyway. So you wouldn't be able to reach a police station. If you then get sexually assaulted day after day, without any hope of a solution, of a better life and a betterment happening in your situation, what would that do to you? To me, imagine it was my sister, my mother, your daughter. It could be anybody. That really got me thinking that while the UN focus on leaving nobody behind, the disability community are some of the most vulnerable that we have to focus on as a UN and also as a UNDP.
I can work like you. With support and resources provided, I can contribute just like anyone else.
Good morning.
Morning.
Good morning. Good morning, Fanto.
Good morning, Jesse. Good morning.
Isaac.
Morning.
Morning.
I can lead like you. With the right tools and support, there's no limit to what we can achieve together.
You cannot have sustainable economic and societal growth anywhere in the world unless you harness the collective energies of everybody in your society. That's the Sustainable Development Goals. They rest on inclusion.
We must empower people with disabilities. When we provide opportunities, we don't just change their lives, we change the world.